You know how long I've been waiting for this? Woo, I'm about to make a name for myself here.
I don't think you guys walk away from this.
You just make sure people know what happened here today. And when you get out of here, you have...
All right. How's everybody doing? We got Tatum Channing intros our show for us. They're Channing Tatum. What's his name? Is that his name?
Channing Tatum, I think. It could be both ways, though. It is a hard name.
I don't know. He's got like two first names. Channing Tatum. Yeah, there you go. I was getting mixed up with Tatum O'Neal, who was a female actress from the little child actress.
Yeah. What was her? There was some controversy about her too, wasn't there? Tatum O'Neal.
She was a heroin addict for a while.
Oh, okay.
And her dad was a real piece of crap. Her dad was he was in a movie with her, but he was like jealous of her because she got more famous than her. Pat, what's his name? Something O'Neal. I don't know. They were in a movie together called The Paper Moon. Anyway,
okay.
I'll think of it later. He was in a lot of movies, but I heard he was a real piece of shit too. But it's Hollywood. It's what it can be expected. So everybody, welcome to Good Cinema. This is, I guess, the third episode. And today, if you can see from our background in the thumbnail, we're reviewing John Carpenter's The Thing. Now, this movie wasn't received well when it came out, but it had the bad fortune of coming out when the movie E.T. came out. So it didn't get a lot, and it was kind of like a downer. But like over the years, it's become like one of the best movies of all time as far as sci-fi movies. I'm not saying it's like it didn't win an Oscar, but some of the special effects, it had all these practical effects in it that were fun.
Right.
And that's before we had CGI, so you had to really work hard to get like stuff done. Like I was watching this thing today, and the title sequence where how it comes on, you can see there's like a spaceship comes through and crashes, and then it kind of burns the image of the letters, but the thing burns onto the screen.
Mm-hmm.
You know how they did that? He took an animation cell that said the title on it and put it behind a fish tank that had smoke in it. They put smoke in the fish tank, and they put a black garbage bag behind the animation cell, and he lit the garbage bag on fire. So it would, when it burned away, it would burn like the thing would burn onto the screen. I thought that was kind of a cool, ingenious idea.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that when people come up with novel ideas doing stuff.
They were more artistic back then. You know what I'm saying? Like as you'll see here, like I just want to show like some behind the scenes footage of his name was Bruce Bottin. He was the guy that did most of the practical effects. And here's one of John Carpenter on set with his getting ready to do a little filming. He's from Kentucky, by the way. So John Carpenter. Here's Bruce Bottin with one of his little creations. Look at this. That's when the guy was like morphing in the two faces, And
yeah, and that I tell you, that was one of the things that impressed me the most was the fact that I was impressed by the sculpting.
Yeah,
like, that's decent sculpting. I'm pretty impressed.
And here's some another like little montage. Like that's the one that freaked me out as a kid though, was the one where the guy's head turned into a giant spider. That freaked me out so bad. But you can see like a lot of like. It's kind of gory looking. Here's a girl, one of his assistants. She was working on this dog looking one. Look at this. It looks like an H.R. Geiger sculpture or something.
100%. Yeah.
This is wild. I just thought we'd show a couple of those, and then all right, guys. We got one person watching, but that's okay because a lot of people watch the show on the replay because we do it at noon on the East Coast, so it's in the morning. So hopefully people on the West Coast can catch it though early before they go to work, but if they're live, but it's okay. You know what though? We only had like 5 people watching the Jaws one.
Really?
Madam. And that's had 175 views since we did it last Thursday. So
well, that's
at least 175 people gave a shit about what we were doing, I guess. Makes me feel good. All right. Let's watch the trailer real quick. Okay. I have some clips preloaded. So
okay, do we have any before questions?
Remember the time I got kicked out, right? You remember when I got kicked out that one time when I tried to play this? So,
yes.
Okay.
Here we go.
Here it's coming up. There we go. I'm not going to make it big screen because for some reason that kind of like affects how it plays. So here we go.
Is it going?
Found something in the ice. We need some help down here. Can anybody hear me? We found something. We found something. We found something.
What could they find? So bad. All right, so Matt's got a little Wi-Fi problem. That's okay. We're just going to continue with the show. Let me greet everyone who's here. Who is absolutely nobody.
I called it. I called it. I called it. Anyway, trust me, the trailer was great. We're not going to try that again. All right. This is what happens when Kevin doesn't show up. You know, thanks, Kevin. All right.
Kevin, where are you?
Well, Kevin's supposed to help me play clip. Yeah, I don't know. Kevin, help us. You're our only hope. Anyway, trust me, it was great. Now, I'm not going to try to share the screen for Wikipedia now. I'm just going to have to read it. So I'm going to, you can check, mind the comments while I'm here. This movie was filmed in 1982.
Oh, yeah, let me get all over those. Hold on.
Yeah,
Okay,
directed by John Carpenter from a screenplay by Bill Lancaster. It's based on the 1938 John W. Campbell novella called Who Goes There? It tells the story of a group of American researchers in the Antarctic who encounter an eponymous thing, an extraterrestrial life form that assimilates, then imitates other organisms. The group is overcome by paranoia and conflict as they learn that they can no longer trust each other and that any of them could be the thing. This film stars Kurt Russell as the team's helicopter pilot, R.J. McCready. Wilford Brimley, you might know, has diabetes, is in it. T.K. Carter, David Clennon, Keith David, Richard Dishart, Charles Hallahan, Peter Maloney, Richard Mauser, Donald Moffat, Joe Polis, and Thomas G. Waits. They actually began production of this movie in the 70s, and it was based on a 757. It scared me when I was a kid too, for sure. Hey, Evils Comics, how you doing?
What up? What up?
It's based on a 1951 film by Howard Hawks too, called The Thing from Outer Space. And in the Thing from Outer Space, James Arness, who you may remember was the star of Gunsmoke, he was Matt Dillon on Gunsmoke.
Okay.
He played the monster. And it was more of a monster movie, and he was like a plant that was mutated because of radiation. But anyway, John Carpenter claims that he watched that movie and it inspired him. He said, one day I'd like to remake that. So after he did Halloween, the first Halloween, and he did Halloween 2, he decided it was time he had a little heat in Hollywood because of the Halloween film. So he thought, well, I can get this made now.
Nice.
So he talks to some people, and he had 24-year-old Bruce Bottin, Bottin, as they say it, was the guy that did the practical effects as we showed you earlier. Here, I'll show it again. Like, it's some amazing practical effects since we got some more people in here watching. We'll show it. Now here's a picture of John Carpenter on the set, and then we got here's Bruce Bottin with one of his hideous creations, which I love.
Was a magnificent creation. It's one of his freaking genius creations.
Yeah, the sculpts on this thing are amazing. Look at this.
Yeah.
There's the spider guy. That's the one like when you were talking about earlier in the comments.
Mm-hmm.
It scared me when that guy's head comes off and turns into a spider. I'm like, oh shit, I'm done. I'm out. And then here's one of the dogs that mutates, and it's just a great movie.
I want to know if the guy who's creating the monsters, right? The guy who is sculpting the monsters, I want to know what kind of nightmares is that guy having in his head?
That's a good question, because he might have had night terrors or something. Who knows? The movie opens up, and I was telling you, we already talked about how they did the title sequence. I don't have that clip, unfortunately, because I couldn't find it.
It's okay.
Of course, but so after you see like and they made like a flying saucer is about this big. I was watching the making of it this morning, and it was made out of ABS plastic, and they put like a copper ring around it, and it's got like thousands of lights going around it. And then they filmed a miniature going through like with the map. It was like a matte painting background of Earth, right? And it's crashing. And then the title comes up, and then it opens up. And I love the music. It's like very tense, like it's like a heartbeat, like boom, 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 boom. And then you see a helicopter chasing a dog.
I know. And you're
And
just
they're
like,
throwing-
run, dog, run.
Yeah, but see, we don't know. Later on, we find out that dog is the thing because it's transferred into that dog. So the
But at
dog.
first, I think I did. I almost called and left you a message. I was like 25 minutes into the thing, and I was like, if this dog dies, I'm like gonna be done with this.
Yeah. And anyway, so the dog, and like, well, actually, I guess the people at the Antarctic Research, they shot this Norwegian guy. They're like, this guy's crazy. He's throwing
And he
like,
was normal.
yeah, and he was throwing like seismic charges. And we know there's a prequel to this movie where you find out what happened to the Norwegians, of how they got to that
Whoa.
point where they were chasing the dog to the U.S. Antarctic outpost.
Yeah.
I
I gotta say, George's comment about Kurt Russell's beard.
epic
I gotta
beard.
say, Kurt Russell's beard for me in the movie was a huge, sexy turn on. I mean, it was hot. He looked good. He looked good with the beard. He was in prime condition.
And Kurt Russell was, I'm
He was a heartthrob.
secure enough to admit that Kurt Russell was a good-looking guy.
Yeah.
Yep. And he'd been in movies a lot before this. Like he'd been in him and John Carpenter had a relationship previously because he was in Escape from New York. He played Snake Plissken.
Mhm.
And so they also did later on. They filmed the movie Big Trouble in Little China together. Like I think it was in 1986.
He also looked good in that too, but he didn't have the beard.
Yeah, but the one in this one, he's got like an epic, like I'm working in Antarctica and I'm a helicopter pilot beard. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I'm not grooming this shit. There's no beard oil on
Yeah.
here.
And he's got a badass name in the movie, R.J. McCready. I mean, it just sounds cool. Like, hey, it's McCready. What's up, dude? Well, anyway, the dog. Interesting enough, the dog in the movie, the actual dog they used that played that
Mhm.
dog, he was half wolf, and his name
At
was
first,
Jed.
he looks like a wolf when he's running around, and that's
his
what I
name's-
thought they
his
were
name-
doing
yeah.
was trying to.
His name was Jed. His real name was Jed, and
Cool.
the guy that the actor said that they had to work with him. I was watching the making up this morning, and he said that the handler, he said he had to work with this dog a lot. He said he was part wolf. He would not, and he says the wolf part was like dominant, like, hey nerdy, how you doing? But the wolf part of the dog was very dominant, and he said it didn't bark or anything like that, just like a wolf. And the handler told him if the dog looks at you like this,
Yeah.
he said, be calm. Yeah, the dog was like, yeah, he ended up being pretty evil. Like we got the clip.
Speaking of evil, Kurt says Kurt was a Disney baby, started at 5 years old. Says Magic Mike there.
He did. You know what? Actually, there was a rumor that when Walt Disney died, he told his son, his brother on his deathbed, make sure you re-sign that Kurt Russell kid. He's going places. So even Walt Disney knew that Kurt Russell was going to be what you know what I mean? But he'd been in a lot of Disney movies. Actually, Kurt Russell's father, his name was Bing Russell, was the actor who played the deputy or the sheriff on Bonanza for like 5 years.
Oh.
And
So he was kind of in the biz,
yeah.
you know.
And his dad's also a fanatic baseball player. And there's a documentary called The Battered Bastards of Baseball. He bought a minor league team in Oregon, and Kurt Russell played for that team. Kurt Russell was a pretty good baseball player. His dad, he was coached by his dad, and he went to college for base. I think he played baseball in college. It's a psychology test. Who sided with a dog would die. Those who sided with Norwegians would survive. Yeah. Yeah, he played Elvis too. That's right. He played Elvis Presley. And he's done a lot of great characters over the years. Like especially like the ones I remember is like Snake Plissken sticks out in my mind a lot.
I just love the movie Overboard. I just find it so joyous and
I like
funny
Captain
all the
Ron.
time.
You remember Captain Ron?
Captain Vaughn or Captain
Ron.
Ron? Yes, I do. With Mary Kay Place, she was in
Yeah.
that too. Yeah.
And well, we're going to play a couple of clips here. I got not a couple. We have a lot. So we got another comment here.
Captain Ron was
Stuntman
awesome.
Mike. Yeah, Stuntman Mike. And then Captain Ron. Yeah, Captain Ron was. But that one he did with Goldie Hawn, Overboard, is just so hilarious. Like this woman like doesn't pay him for his work, and she gets amnesia. She's like, I'm going to get this money out of her one way or another. She's going to be raising my kids.
Yeah, in a very non-sexual way.
Yeah, it wasn't like, no, I'm going to get it. Not like that. I should have said that wrong, but like he made her work like raising his kids basically. Like, well, we could get
Clean
into
the
that.
house, do the laundry.
I like how all her clothes were like huge because he didn't know what her size was. He goes, oh yeah, honey, you used to weigh like 250 pounds, if you remember. Oh man. All right, we're gonna play some clips here. This is they have to shoot the Norwegian guys, right? And that one guy does, but like, and they're like, well, why are these Norwegians? That one guy's like, maybe we're at war with Norway.
Maybe we had war with Norway.
It'll play.
Mike says that it was just
it's kind of got a whole lot harder.
What remake? There was a remake of Overboard? I didn't see that.
Oh, I heard the remake. The first one's the best one. All right, but I'm old. I don't even know.
Yeah, I'm old too.
All right. Anna Faris, is that who's in it? Yeah, I like Soldier. That was a good movie. All right, here's another clip.
I was wondering when El Capitan was going to get a chance to use his pop gun.
That's what after he shot that guy. And they kept that, and was it Kurt Russell kept calling them Swedish, and they're Norwegian. He kept calling them the Swedes, crazy Swedes. Well, against his better judgment, he flies them to the Swedish Antarctic outpost, and this is when they enter the outpost.
Hey, Sweden!
Not Swedish, Mac, the Norwegian.
I love when you see blood that's dripping off somebody that's frozen in time as it
because it just froze down. Below freezing.
Blood icicles.
And to come to find out, the reason this is so cold in there is like they realized what the Americans realized later is this thing is looking for a warm place, like a warm body or somewhere where there's warmth, so it can get out of the Antarctic and go to other climates, so it can spread to where it'll be like everybody will be dead. You know what I mean? And then everybody will be the thing, because this thing like imitates people, and it just keeps like dividing itself, right? And it can like multiply. That's what I think happens. And then there's like here's one of the scenes where they're like, "What the hell happened?" Like they're in there looking at this place, and they're like, you know, the blood. Like I can't really show that because it's about self-harm, but
My God, what the hell happened here? Come on, Doc.
There's Kurt with his beard.
epic beard. By the way.
Epic beard. Really brings on his blue eyes. Evil says remake is called Overboard, and they flip roles. The man is rich and made to work. Now, what about 9 to 5? What if they flipped roles there? Would that work?
No, that would be called kidnapping and human trafficking. Probably. I'm just kidding.
You're correct, pretty much.
Well, this just took a dark turn all of a sudden here. Anyway, so they're like, they try to get on the radio, but they can't get a hold of anybody. They want to tell everybody what happened, you know. So they're like,
You reach anybody yet?
Reach anybody? We're 1,000 miles from nowhere, man, and it's gonna get a hell of a lot worse before it gets any better.
Well, stick to it.
I like that guy. He's like always paranoid and on edge. That guy with the sunglasses, windows.
Yes.
He's like, it's going to get a hell of a lot worse before it gets any better.
This is realistic.
Just call it a regular work day. Okay. Yeah. Here's another 5-second clip. Because we try to, you know, we don't try to get in trouble right here. We can't play too much.
No.
I don't know what the hell's in there, but it's weird and pissed off, whatever it is.
And like, well, the thing goes in there. They take the dog into the cage. Obviously, it assimilates the other dogs. They walk in there, and he's like killed all the dogs, and he's like turning into this thing, and they're like, they hit it with a flamethrower. Like, what the fuck are we? Can you imagine? See, that's what's great about this movie. It's like, it's kind of claustrophobic. You can't go outside. It's like 40 below zero outside. They can't go outside. They can't get a hold of anybody. There's this thing. They don't know what this thing is, and they're all. Then when they find out that it can imitate people, they're like, shit, we can't trust anybody.
Yeah, and then they're testing.
Yeah.
They're testing everybody's blood.
Yeah.
Everyone's sitting there like all nervous.
It's like so all this tension builds up. You're like there with them, like, oh my god, which one of these guys is the alien? You know, which one of these is the thing? You know.
Oh, I was gonna say during that dog scene, right?
Yeah.
The dog is exploding. The other dogs are in there. It's all exploding and turning into tentacles and stuff. And then one of the guys who's outside the cage, he shoots one of the dogs, right? And
Yeah.
I look, it's the other guy who I think was the dog's handler or friend.
Yeah.
Is that right? Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, dude, really? That dog? Come on. Like,
I know, but like,
did he do that out of pity or what? Was he like, I'm just gonna put him out of his misery?
I mean, I'm sorry. I love dogs, but if the dog starts turning with them monsters, it's dead. I'm going to shoot it. Yeah, and the biohazard incident. Yeah, the first rule is to isolate. Like we kind of had that a few years ago, but when we had that a few years ago, where we had to self-isolate, I think it broke a lot of people's brains. To be honest with you.
Yeah.
This is probably another clip. This is like where he's like he tells Childs. Childs is played by Keith David. He's a great actor. He was in They Live, another John Carpenter film.
I don't know. Wait, Mac wants the flamethrower. Mac wants the what? That's what he said. Now move. Damn it.
Okay, I love that scene because someone's thinking, flamethrower. Yes, it's time for the flamethrower.
Yeah. Yeah, like Nerdy Geek says, once the dog starts growing tentacles, it's not a dog anymore. Fair game. Exactly. That's not the dog you love anymore, guys. You need to chill out. All right. And then, like, they destroy this thing. I couldn't find a lot of good clips. I'm so pissed off. But they flamethrow it. But then, like, one of Mac's buddies, McCready's buddies, is like, look, I got to talk to you. He's like, he said, I can't really play it all, but he's like,
I have to talk to you.
I'm tired of talking, Fix. I just want to get up to my shack and get drunk.
Mac, it's important.
What is it?
Outside.
It's 40 below outside.
he can't trust anybody. So they go outside in the snowcat. He's like, look, this thing is like transferring itself to other people. We can't trust anybody. And he said, I don't want to tell anybody else, but I trust you. Because
why would he trust him, though? Why would he?
Because he'd already seen him kill it. Like the thing, if you're the thing, you're not going to try to kill another thing. You know what I mean?
Maybe
so, I mean, that's my philosophy.
Suspicion.
Alien shit. I wouldn't have been a team player. It's about survival at that point. Grab some cheese whiz and disappear.
That is hilarious.
It's hilarious, but true. And then they have more problems. Here's some more problems ensue.
Jerry, wait a minute, wait.
He's like, first guy.
Jerry, wait a minute, wait.
I'm sorry. I'm still picturing Mike like in a corner with the cheese whiz, just
with some crackers hiding in the corner somewhere. Oh, these aliens kill everybody.
Like, you guys gonna listen to Gary? You gonna let him give the orders? I mean, he could be one of those things.
See, that's how the paranoia gets you right there, though. They're like, oh God, he could be one of those things too. And like, but then the thing could be like, okay, if I'm the thing and you're not, I'll be like, don't look at me. Madam's the thing. Can't you see? You know, we'd just be like, paranoia would go everywhere. You know what I mean? It'd just be like, it's called survival. Yes, it's like you have to survive somehow, right? Although, where are you going to go? You can't run away. You have to stay in the building because it's like 40 degrees below zero outside. You're not going to last long. You're in the middle of the Antarctic. Where do you go? That's the problem.
In a cage?
I guess. But they could probably get into you if they just, I mean, if you can lock it from the inside, maybe you, but they're always going to be out there. You better have a lot of cheese whiz.
I'm going to take the flamethrower over the cheese whiz. Just me personally.
Well, can we put the cheese whiz in the back pocket and then I can have the flamethrower too?
I think cheese whiz is terrible.
I don't know how we got in this. Evil's got us talking about cheese whiz over here.
Love it.
And okay, here's where they start realizing they have like they're kind of have what my grandpa would say a come to Jesus moment. They're like, look, this is where McCready's like, we got a problem.
There's a storm hitting us in 6 hours. We're gonna find out who's who.
Love it.
And I also like the part where they think he's the thing, and he grabs that dynamite and he's got that flamethrower. He's like, if I go, we all go. And
anybody touches me, and we go.
What a fun scene for him to film, you know?
That's a gangster, right?
I'm gonna hide this tape when I'm finished. If none of us make it, at least there'll be some kind of record. Storm's been hitting us hard now for 48 hours. We still have nothing to go on.
So he was like recording this because, like he said, we can't trust anybody. There's a lot of paranoia and mistrust going on. And then, but then they still don't trust everybody. It's like that one guy's like, McCready's like holding them off. He's like, you have to go to sleep sometime, you know. And like, they're all threatening each other. They don't trust nobody. Like,
you're gonna have to sleep sometime, McCready.
I'm a real light sleeper, child.
I'm a real light sleeper.
He gives him gasoline and not liquor, and he drinks it?
Yeah, that's true. I've heard that. And it's kind of a test because he realizes that guy's the last one's the thing.
Oh, God.
I'm pretty sure it's gasoline. He might be right. I think he's right.
So if you drink gasoline, you're going to die?
This is where the guy's head turns into a spider, by the way. And I love what their reaction, because this would be what my reaction would be if somebody's head turned into a spider.
You gotta be fucking kidding.
You gotta be fucking kidding me.
I would be already out the door if someone's head turned into a spider. I wouldn't have time to react and have some funny quip. Yeah. No, I would be out the fucking door. Grabbing cheese whiz from Mike's hand.
Yeah, that does kind of foreshadow really backdraft. You go, we go. Yeah, that doesn't remind me. I forgot about backdraft. Now, this is where they start going, look, we're going to tie you motherfuckers up and test your blood, because if the thing is threatened by something, they're going to like take a piece of metal and heat it up, and they stick it in the blood.
Right.
And if there's a reaction, that guy's the thing, you know. And we're getting ready to do that right now.
He ain't tying me up.
Then I'll have to kill you, child.
Then kill me.
I love the interaction between those two the whole movie. He's like, well, kill me then, right?
No hesitation. Just go ahead.
Butt draft.
Like, shit's so bad right now. I ain't care if you kill me.
Well, now Kurt Russell was wrong about one guy. He thought the chief guy, what's his name? The old guy was one, but he wasn't.
Now I'll show you what I already know.
And then we play this one.
This is pure nonsense. Doesn't prove a thing.
I thought you'd feel that way, Gary. You were the only one that could have got to that blood. We'll do you last.
And he presses the guy thing in there, and it's the other guy. It's the guy with the sunglasses, and the blood pops up. I don't know how they did that effect, but it looks like it's alive. And he's like,
Backdraft is a fantastic movie. That movie.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
That's the movie. Is Luther and Kurt, the interactions plus the monster.
And so they test it, like they're all tied up, and the guy on the end starts turning into a monster, and they're all like, "Oh shit, kill this fucking thing!" And then after it's calmed down, that one guy's like, I like what he says to him. He's like,
I know you gentlemen have been through a lot, but when you find the time, I'd rather not spend the rest of this winter tied to this fucking couch.
I love that delivery. I mean, he nailed it.
And we got some more.
Blair's been busy out here all by himself.
This is when Wilford Brimley is. They locked him in that shack, right? And when they go discover it, he's in there building like a flying.
Blair's been busy out here all by himself.
He's trying to build a ship to get out of there, right? He's like, I'm going to go like turn everybody else into this fucking alien thing too, you know. We got a lot of people in the chat today. I love Keith David he is a national treasure, by the way. I love that guy. That fight scene he has with Roddy Piper and They Live is just like top notch. It's like a 10-minute fight scene.
Yeah.
This movie's like you're always on edge. What I like about this movie, it builds tension from the very start,
Yes,
It
it's hard
never
to turn away and like go to the bathroom, go get something to eat. It's like, no, you need to stay there and because
What's
something's
going
gonna
on?
happen.
And you know, actually, you're in the audience. You can't understand it either. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right, we only got a few more clips, so bear with me. We'll play them.
Great.
But that's the one we already showed the one who said Blair's been busy. That's the Walter. What's his name? I got diabetes guy. You know, the guy, the diabetes guy's in it. That's what I call him. The Ed Brimley or whatever his name is. Yeah.
6 hours, it'll be 100 below in here. Well, that's suicide.
They know they're going to like blow the place up. And he's like, it's suicide. But they think it's the only way to prevent this thing from destroying the fucking world. Is we got to like bury this son of a bitch right now.
Yeah.
So I don't know. To me, it would be a scary feeling to be in a situation where, oh, we got another guest showing up. He's a little bit late, but he's here.
Who's here?
But can you imagine being in a situation where like you have this thing coming out here and it wants to spread itself to the rest of the world. And you've already been told that if it gets into the world within like a week, the whole world's going to be took over by this fucking thing.
You got to take one for the team.
Yeah, they got to come up. They got to make a decision. Like either we let this thing get out of here or we kill it now. And we'll probably have to. In killing this thing, we're going to have to kill her. Blank. You know what I mean? I can't say that word. We're going to have to take ourselves out too.
Mm-hmm.
I almost got caught saying that word that you can't say on the internet. Apparently.
Don't say anything. How are you, Jeff?
All right. How are you guys doing? Sorry about being late to the movie.
It's all right.
It's okay. We'll forgive you.
We've already played all the clips, so
we're already at the point where they've narrowed it down to.
Well, we're at the point where he said
6 hours, it'll be 100 below in here. Well, that's suicide.
But they got.
I like how you notice how I got it to cut off before it said the S word.
Yeah.
I'm pretty smart. Okay. That's true, but it's kind of like they had like the end of it, they leave it like open. I know that we had a theory in the chat that Kurt Russell's giving Keith David gasoline instead of whiskey to test him, but I don't know if that's true. But but you could tell Kurt Russell knew what he was at the end of it.
I don't remember if that happened, but that's a good idea.
Yeah,
I would think. But how do you know that I don't know.
But here's another one.
Yeah, fuck you too.
This is where he throws that dynamite at him. I just like it. Yeah,
fuck you too.
Also good delivery.
Yeah.
That's the only one I could get with a creature in it of all the clips.
It's
Southern Geek, hashtag Heroes 2025. Me and Madam are both going too, and I know that Southern Comic Geek will be there.
Awesome.
And I hope other people will be there. It's going to be fun.
Hey, Jeff, are you going to go?
I live too far away.
No, that's
I wish I could
nonsense.
go.
There's these things called airplanes now.
That's true, but they cost money.
No.
Cost money. And when I sit on them, I feel like I'm a sardine in a sardine can.
Because you are.
Yes. I'll get up there one of these days.
It makes me nervous now because, I don't want to get into it on here because I don't want to scare Madam and not want to get on a plane. But
What? No, you can tell me. I got to take 2 plane rides soon. So.
So this movie, I liked how they created the tension and fear and all that stuff without.
Yeah.
They didn't need a whole lot of special effects. You know, it's like I got to see what's in the comments.
Well, they did have a lot of good special effects in it.
Like the special effects I felt were the star of the show. All the molds of the monsters and the faces distorted and everything. I thought that was the star. That was one of the actors of the movie.
Yeah, I like
look at
how they start looking at each other though. It's like, is it you?
I mean,
you? Yeah.
Yeah, it's like 2 shrunken heads.
Well, it does have like
nuts back.
Actually, the tension isn't another character. Hey, Christina, the tension is another character in it.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. They don't know. Like I don't know if we can trust you. I can't trust you. Well, we get to the last scene, and like I can't play the whole scene. Only I could find that had this clip in it that he's talking. Everybody was talking about earlier about them drinking the whiskey or gasoline or whatever it is. It was like 49 seconds. I know I can't play that whole clip, or I'll probably get sued by John Carpenter. So,
Fire's got the temperature up all over the camp. Won't last long, though.
Neither will we.
How will we make it?
Maybe we should.
Now, I gotta say, yes, there is suspense, but can I make a point? If this movie was
Yeah, go
created
ahead.
and there was no monsters shown, but the suspense was still there, would it still have been an effective movie?
Ooh,
I don't know.
I don't think so. I don't think.
No,
maybe not as good. Not as good.
I can't imagine it would be. But Christina Payne, the greatest mod on the internet
Yes.
here.
Of all time.
Christina.
I love that. I love
Yes.
Bert. I love all you guys, but I love everybody that shows up. I love everybody except for well, never mind. I
People
was
show up late.
But
Except for Jeff, 'cause
most
he
of
was
the people,
late.
except for that one kid
Yeah.
that picked on me when I was in the 4th grade. You know what I'm saying? I'm coming to get you.
All right,
I'm
see
coming
you.
to get you. All right. But overall, I think this movie gets 5 stars. I'll be honest with you. I give it 2 thumbs up.
Oh, we're
I mean,
doing
what
stars or
I
thumbs
got
up?
John Carpenter
Two
and I
thumbs
got
up.
Kurt Russell.
Yeah,
What
well,
else
yeah,
do you
for
need?
sure.
I got Kurt Russell's beard. I got Kurt Russell's eyes. I got Kurt Russell's squirrely hair. I can go on and on.
I like his
Bushy
sombrero. he has,
Alaskan.
too. I like how he wears that sombrero when he's in the helicopter. He's got like that big hat. I was like, what this? Oh, did he come out that one's on his own? I don't know. It looks like a sombrero, don't it? You know that big hat I'm talking about?
I don't remember which one
Was he-
exactly though.
Is he
And Keith
drunk in
David's
that
voice.
scene?
Keith David's got one of the best voices. He does a lot of like voiceover stuff.
Really?
Yeah,
Remind me who Keith David is.
Yeah.
he's the black guy in the movie, the African American.
Oh,
guy.
the guy from Platoon.
Yeah, he was in the They Live as well. Yeah, he was in They Live.
Okay.
I mean, and like look at
He's-
these guys.
he's
They've been
good.
like all these great movies. Like, well, let's just do the list. Kurt Russell, like he was in all those Disney movies.
Yeah, Keith David's good in everything he's in.
Yeah, he's a second generation actor. And he was in he played Elvis Presley in a movie. He was in Escape from New York, The Thing, Big Trouble in Little China, Overboard, Captain Ron, Tombstone.
Tombstone, yeah.
He was in Guardians of the Galaxy Part 2. There's so many movies I can't even name them all though. He was in a movie about the LA riots. He was like called Dark Blue. I don't know if anybody remembers that movie.
I saw that movie. He's
He's pretty
That's
cool.
actually that's a dark movie.
It is. That's why they call it Dark Blue. And it's
Yeah.
not many people saw it, but it's a good movie. He was in Escape from LA. I know some people don't like it, but I liked Escape from LA because he was yeah, we got to get Jeff to 100, y'all.
Jeff, you need
I'm
to go
working
on
on it.
again. Are we dropping the link? All right, cool.
Yeah, she did.
Pig
Kurt
subs.
Russell has been in
Pig
so many
subs.
movies, I can't even name them all. Yeah,
I'm
and
about to name them all here.
They Live, Something About Mary, The Voice of the Arbiter. Yeah, he's been in a lot of
Something
things.
About Mary.
Guns of Diablo.
Yeah, he plays the Mary's stepdad when he gets his beans and franks. caught in the
Oh.
river.
Wrong,
He's like,
this
how
is
did
the
you
wrong
get the beans? How did you get the beans above the franks?
The wrong Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell's been in every movie he ever made.
It feels like it sometimes.
Yeah.
But he's been in a lot of great movies, and he's an avid horseman, outdoorsman,
Platoon. I fucking love Platoon.
and his old lady is Goldie Hawn. So
And they've been together forever. And you know what they said to Matt?
yeah, and they've
Like,
never been married.
They asked
I think
Goldie.
that's how you make it work, right?
They asked
Yep.
Goldie, "What do you do to make it work?" And you know what she says?
Don't get
Throw
married.
him overboard.
Huh? Don't get married.
Film overboard.
No, she says.
Throw him overboard.
She says, "I look at him like I look at him the first time."
Aw. If we could,
I'm gonna call BS on that answer.
I think that's a great. I think that's a fabulous answer. It makes you remember all the, the reason.
Anytime, Nerdy Geek. If you ever want to be a guest or you want to watch a movie in Discord with us,
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to start watching stuff in Discord because it just seems like a good time. Like if we get some people watching there, just don't tell the studio, all right? We'll get in trouble, maybe. But what they don't know won't hurt them, right? They're not watching. We got what, 4 people watching? We're good. But we have been watching. A lot of people have been watching on the replay, but I like doing it this time because it's just, I don't know. And I guess it's while we're here. Yeah, Death Proof, Hateful Eight, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. He's
Death Proof. Yes, that's a huge one.
he plays that psycho guy with the car. Yeah, you need to put your YouTube under your description.
I did.
Okay. Well, I'll show you about it if we didn't. We'll look at it later.
Sorry, I'm the slow kid.
Who was in the Fast and the Furious? Kurt Russell wasn't in Fast and Furious, was he?
All right. Is this Adam and Blade Company collectibles?
No, I swear, no one in the world can say it. Nobody can say it. Everybody knows that Wolverine's
Adamantium Blade comic
collectibles. Adamantium.
Adamantium.
Yeah, you can call it. Yes.
Yeah, I'm subscribed.
Whatever you want. Whatever you want to call it. Yeah. We don't care. It's all good.
I just want to know what I was subscribing to.
Yeah. It's a comic book channel. It's a comic book channel.
Adam, man. Okay, no.
There's like one video on my YouTube channel. This is totally off.
Oh yeah, Evil. I forgot. I haven't watched a lot of the Fast and Furious movies. I watched the first 2 or 3, and then I don't know. I just when they started launching cars into space, I kind of we might have that one on an episode of Bad Cinema though. They're launching cars into space for Christ's sakes. Come on.
Oh no. Yeah.
But it was interesting. Although I don't know. I feel like it's funny clip time. I just want to play a funny clip. It's got nothing to do with this movie. I don't give a shit.
Harley Quinn, nice to meet you. Love your perfume. What is that? The scent of death?
That's awesome.
We were talking about this yesterday, Matt, about how we call ourselves civilized until there's a threat or there's a lack of resources.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Then we're not so civilized anymore. You know,
speaking of being uncivilized,
very true. Very, very true observation.
Madam has selected next Thursday's episode of Good Cinema. So speaking of uncivilized, we have a very uncivilized Javier Bardem in next week's movie. When we reviewed No Country for Old Men, starring Javier Bardem,
yes,
Josh Brolin,
yes,
and Tommy Lee Jones.
Yes.
Based on a novel by Cormac McCarthy.
Almost, if there could be such a thing, that's
Tango and Cash. He's right.
Oh, Tango and Cash, yeah.
That'll be on Bad Cinema though, because it's just a shock. It's a schlocky action film, but it's still good.
I got so much love for Tommy Lee Jones's character in No Country for Old Men.
Keith David was the voice of the animated voice of Spawn in the Spawn the animated series. That's true.
I had so much respect for Javier Bardem's acting in No Country for Old Men. He was mesmerizing at every scene.
For you, Christina, because you were in the chat, Harley.
Yeah, Javier's the guy that plays Anton Chigurh, right?
Yeah,
he's the guy that plays the.
Yeah. Now we're gonna look up. I got to look up. See, this is killing me. I'm gonna look up Kurt Russell's filmography here. Hold on. His first movie is called. He had an uncredited cameo in a movie called "It Happened at the World's Fair." He was in the movie Guns of He was in a movie called Guns of Diablo, Follow Me Boys, Mosby's Marauders, The One and Only Genuine Original Family Brand, The Horse in the Gray Flannel Suit, The Computer Wore Tennis Shoes from 1969. In 1971, Whoa. He was in a movie called The Barefoot Executive and Fool's Paradise. I'm just going to go through these real quick, though. He played Dexter Riley in The Strongest Man in the World. In 1980, he played Rudy Russo in a comedy called Used Cars, which is hilarious. It's a funny movie. If anybody gets a chance to watch Used Cars, watch it. In 1981, he played the voice of Copper in The Fox and the Hound. I did not know that.
I didn't know that.
Really?
Also in 1981, he played Snake Plissken in Escape from New York. In 1982, he played in The Thing. In 1983, Oh, he was in the Oscar award-winning movie Silkwood.
I love Silkwood.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Did you watch Silkwood?
Yeah, I've seen it. It's a very good movie. Cher's in it.
Movie.
I think Cher's in
in it. Yeah.
And what's her name? The greatest actress of all time? Meryl Streep, the greatest actress of all time.
Yep.
There's another female. Was Sissy Spacek in that one?
I don't think so.
It was,
no.
It's a coal miner's daughter.
Like yeah. Swing Shift in 1984. In 1985, he played in a movie called The Mean Season. In 1986, he was in a movie called The Best of Times, starring him and Robin Williams. It was kind of a funny movie. And also in 1986, he was in Big Trouble in Little China. In 1987, he was in a little movie called Overboard. In 1988, he starred in Tequila Sunrise opposite Mel Gibson.
Yes.
I forgot about that one. In 1989, he was in 2 movies, Winter People and Tango and Cash. And then in 1991, he must have took 1990 off. He filmed the movie Backdraft, where he played Lieutenant Stephen Bull McCaffrey.
God, he's raked up the money. You know, those are all legit. Like, there's quite a few legit movies in there. And
wait, there's more. He was Michael Carr in Unlawful Entry, and he played Captain Ron Rico in Captain Ron in 1992. In 93, he played Wyatt Earp in Tombstone. And here's something I bet you didn't know. In 1994, he did. Now, I know you know this one. He played Jack O'Neill in Stargate, but he also had played the unaccredited voice of Elvis Presley in Forrest Gump.
Oh, how funny was that?
And then in 96, he was in Executive Decision and Escape from L.A. In 97, one of the greatest thrillers I've ever seen, it really tense, where his wife gets kidnapped. It's called Breakdown. 1998, he was in a movie called Soldier. In 2001, he starred in 3,000 Miles to Graceland and Vanilla Sky.
Vanilla Sky he was in?
Yeah, he was like the Curtis McCabe is his name. In Interstate 60 and Dark Blue, he was in those movies in 2002. In 2004, he played in the movie Miracle, about the Miracle on Ice. He played Coach Herb
That was a
Brooks.
good movie.
And he was in the Martin Short film, Jimmy Glick in La La Wood. And in 2005, he was in a kids movie called Sky High and a movie about horse racing called The Dreamer. In 2006, he was in the remake of Poseidon. In 2007, he was in Death Proof in a movie called Cutlass. 2011, he was in a movie called Touchback, playing a coach. And he goes on and on and on and on. I could go on and on. Let's go down here. He also was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And his name is Randy Lloyd. He's also the narrator in that movie. And he was in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. He was Ego the Planet, Fast and the Furious, Mr. Nobody, Deepwater Horizon, Jimmy Harrell. I think that's a movie about the Deepwater Horizon rig.
That's a good movie. Yeah. That's a great movie.
He played the voice of Ron in the Smurfs movie in 2025.
I knew that.
Kilted Corgi says Kurt is hall pass worthy. How many hall passes do you get?
I think she means kitchen pass. That's what they call it.
How many passes are you giving yourself?
The answer is depends on who it is.
Where they are and where I am.
It just all depends. It just depends on the moment and how we feel at the time, I guess, you know.
I think it's hall pass worthy in 1982 for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I
don't know what it looks like now.
Terrible.
I'm hetero. I'm a hetero, but I mean, I can admit the guy was, you know, he had a good look.
He's good.
Is Kilted? I don't think I've ever seen Kilted on screen. Is it a male or female?
Oh, I have no idea.
I thought they were killed. I thought it was a corgi. I don't know. I'm just kidding.
Oh, jeez.
Corgis.
She's got two. Oh, Christina's got two.
Oh,
that's
two.
Dean Cain and Pedro Pascal.
Now, does that mean, Christina, you want to do Dean Cain twice? You know, Dean Cain twice, or
that's the way I took it.
Pedro like once. Is that what that means? Like Dean Cain 1 and 2, and then Pedro.
Christina, I am blushing.
You got me.
You didn't meet at the same time, did you?
I'm hotter. The quote Blanche Devereaux in Golden Girls. I'm hotter than a virgin at a prison rodeo. All right.
Oh man.
All right.
Who are you? Okay, no, I need to know whose hall passes are Matt's and Jeff's. So
I don't need a hall pass. I'm single.
I'm just saying, like, yeah, but I'm just saying,
If
if
I
you
was
weren't,
married,
okay,
okay.
you still have to get a hall pass because some celebrity that you're never gonna meet, you know,
Oh,
that someday you're gonna be trapped in the elevator with, and you know.
Scarlett Johansson and Sydney Sweeney.
And who was the second one?
Sydney Sweeney.
Denise Winnie?
Sydney Sweeney.
Sydney Sweeney. Yeah, I heard her before. I know a lot of guys like her.
You guys are gonna think
I'm
mine are
probably a
lame.
little old for her though. But there's another one I could think of. But she's no longer with us no more, so I guess it don't count.
Well, one of mine is Jennifer Love Hewitt in the 90s.
In the 90s, yeah. She was quite the thing in the 90s for sure.
And
I know that Marissa Tomei. She can
Marissa
get it.
Tomei.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. I don't hear any.
I'm trying to think of somebody recent, but
She's like, I'm single too, but he'll need to understand. There you go. Fifth Element. Are you talking about Mila Jovovich?
Yeah, she was hot in that one for sure.
Yeah.
Natalie Portman's a good one. Yeah.
That's a good one. I didn't
I'm
think of that.
surprised there's no Angelina Jolie's or
I don't like her.
Drew Barrymore or
I love Drew Barrymore though. She's just America's sweetheart.
Cameron Diaz or whatever. And
I like Cameron Diaz. I forgot about.
Yeah, that's my second evil. Jennifer Aniston during the Friends years. Yes.
Oh, I know another one. What's the girl's name that was in Silver Linings Playbook? She was
Jennifer Lawrence.
Yes, her. And another hall pass worthy person is Florence Pugh.
Oh, really? Really? Yes.
I agree. Well, the thing about her now, she was beautiful, but when I see Angelina Jolie now, I'm like, this girl needs to eat a cheeseburger. Or
Yeah, she does. Oh my god.
Either that or she's smoking meth or something.
She needs a fucking cheeseburger.
I was going to say that about Mila Jovovich in The Fifth Element.
Well, she had to come in that thin because she was a model anyway. She comes from the model world,
beautiful.
you know.
Yeah, she was a model first. She was actually in a lot of shows. Like, do you remember the sitcom from the 80s and 90s called Parker Lewis Can't Lose? You remember that?
Yep.
He was like his girlfriend on that show for a couple episodes. And,
Sally Field.
Sally Field. Yeah. Well,
no, not for me. Not for me, but Sally Field, wasn't she in Silkwood too?
No,
she was in Norma Ray.
Oh,
yes.
It's kind of a similar type of movie. It's a similar
and
type
Murphy's
of movie.
Murphy's Romance, where she was in with James Garner. I want to say that was pretty good.
Yeah, James Garner.
I agree. Gidget was hot, and she was actually hot in Smokey the Bandit. I thought.
Did you know that actually
dating
Burt Reynolds did not think Sally Fields was hot, and that was like a problem with him because he didn't think she was hot enough?
Really?
Oh,
yeah.
I thought it was because she got more roles than he did. I thought it was because she won an Oscar.
Yeah, I think that might be an ego problem for Burt.
Yeah, huh?
I think that's what it was. That's what I read, that like it kind of hurt him. That he dated Dinah Shore for a while, and she was like 25 years older than him.
Oh.
Yep.
Okay, if I had to pick somebody for a hall pass, I would have to say some really hot actors are Henry Cavill.
My mom liked him.
Yeah, he is sculpt worthy. Henry Cavill.
He's a pretty man.
Yeah, he looks like he was chiseled out of. It looks like he was chiseled out of clay, don't he?
Yeah, it looks like he's chiseled out of stone. And then
stone. You can't chisel clay, Matt. I'm not a sculptor though. Sorry.
You can chisel clay if you really want to. Just put it in the fridge first. And then who's that guy? Not Henry Cavill. The Jim Caviezel. He was in
Jim
the Count of Monte
Caviezel.
Cristo.
Oh,
Jim
Caviezel. Jim Caviezel.
Yes. Him, and I gotta say, the
He
guy
could make
from
your.
Troy, but most.
Are you saying that Jim Caviezel could make Madam walk on water? You know, he played Jesus, right?
I don't know. And then I gotta say, yeah, okay. Daniel Craig is also very hot, but in Munich, I have to say, in Munich, Eric Bana.
Oh yeah, Eric Bana.
Just hot.
Isn't
Just hot as hell.
You have a type. I can already tell
Craig's
you like
aligning.
the dark and handsome type. Huh?
Daniel Craig's
He
a
likes the
lineman,
tall.
right?
Yeah.
Get in
So
there.
I think Madam likes the tall, dark, and handsome type. I can tell already. Henry Cavill, dark hair, and
Does he have
Jim
dark hair?
Caviezel, and yeah, okay, all right, I can see it. Ed Harris. Oh, that's an interesting one.
Ed
What about
Harris,
that?
really?
What about a young Dennis Quaid?
No.
Okay.
All right. So I gotta say, Ed Harris is the last name.
See, I don't know. I'm a man. I don't know.
And he's related to Randy too. They got Randy with him. They're like,
Oh God, cousin Eddie, the shitter's full.
My sister.
We're doing that movie for good cinema in Christmas time. By the way, we're gonna do family vacation for Christmas. And I'm gonna make
My
the
sister
announcement
thought
right now.
that John Goodman was attractive because of the character he played in Roseanne and the way he was.
because he was just so witty and nice.
Well, because he was like fatherly and always took care of the family, and there's an episode where Roseanne's sister
Well, that
gets,
can be hot too. A guy
gets
that's
domestic
responsible.
violence.
Oh,
Well, she's like, I love John Goodman. I'm like, what? Because this is a
I love the
stereotype. He's
episode.
not all.
Yeah, I love
She's
the
like, no,
episode
it's
where
because
Roseanne's
of how he
sister
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember when the episode?
That's
when-
what I'm talking
let's look
about. She gets
Yeah.
DB'd.
She gets beat up by her boyfriend, and John Goodman leaves and doesn't say nothing. He goes and beats the guy's ass. I
He
love
just
that
goes.
part.
He grabs his jacket, pulls it off the hook, and walks out the back door.
wow. Yeah, I was
Yeah, see, evil
never
thing.
attracted to John Goodman, but I'm sure he's a fantastic person with a great
He's
personality.
hilarious in the show. If anybody hasn't seen it, you have to watch it. It's called Fabulous
The Big
Gemstones, or something. Gemstones, Righteous Gemstones.
Oh, Christina Payne says Chris O'Donnell. He's a little too cutesy for me. He's a little
But
bit
he
too
was
like
good in,
Mr. Honest Goody Two Shoes.
But I'll tell you what, another movie that should be on Good Cinema one day that he was in with Al Pacino. Scent of a Woman is one of my favorite movies of all time.
Oh, okay.
It's just great. Like I just like how like this guy, like the old guy kind of takes him under his wing, and then they like form this bond. And like at the end of it, the speech that Pacino gives at the end of that movie, like when they were getting ready to kick the kid out of school, Chris O'Donnell out of school, he's like, "This whole place is out of order." He says, "If I was 25 years younger, I'd take a fucking flamethrower to this whole fucking place."
What? Who is Glenn Powell? Okay, now I need to know.
Glenn Powell, come on.
What are the? I want to know what the women in the chat think of Brad Pitt.
He's hot.
Somebody said Tom Cruise.
In my opinion, Brad Pitt is a young Robert Redford.
Tom
Because
Cruise.
they look very similar.
Let's face
They
it,
look-
Tom Cruise is a vanilla midget. All right. Anyway, I always
Okay,
thought,
look
like,
at Glenn.
I'll tell you guys, I always thought was, I bet he gets a lot of ladies, is Idris Elba.
Oh yeah, he's a handsome man.
All right. It's getting kind of weird in here today. We're having
Okay,
a weird
I don't-
conversation.
I don't know what Glenn Powell. I don't know why I would.
Glenn Powell, who is that?
It's just some guy there.
He's the guy who played in. I think he played. Didn't he have a part in The Thing?
Here.
Anyway, he was the evil cowboy in Urban Cowboy.
Oh, that's Scott Glenn.
Oh, you're right. I'm wrong.
Scott Glenn was in. I'll tell you, the guy was
You're
a
right.
good-looking dude. That's a good actor. Was Sam Shepard.
How did I get that mixed up?
Sam
Oh, so that was-
Shepard. Now, would Sam Shepard be such a good-looking actor if he didn't have his mustache?
You're thinking of Sam Elliott.
That's what I'm thinking of.
I don't know. Sam Elliott would, but speaking of Sam Elliott would look weird about that stash. He would look. It's like Burt Reynolds without a mustache would be very odd.
Yes.
Or
Tom Selleck without the mustache.
Yeah, I think Tom Selleck could sell posters with just his mustache.
My mom loves Tom Selleck, Burt Reynolds, and Sean Connery. My mom had a thing for chest hair, I think.
Yeah, I didn't mind. I don't mind chest hair. I think for those reasons because I watched Magnum PI and that stuff too.
And,
That
and,
was
and,
constant
Magnum,
chest hair
hey,
coming.
and Magnum looked pretty cool in those short shorts. Remember, he'd wear the short khaki shorts.
He had good legs. The man had good legs.
Oh, you're talking about.
Can't-
Like, I know you're
can't
talking
do
about
it.
Glenn Powell.
Can't do it.
Glenn Powell played the young guy that played Goose's son in Top Gun Maverick. That's who that is. Okay.
Okay.
Now I know.
It's just not
All
my.
right.
It's just not my. Yeah.
All right.
Nah.
Yeah, I can see.
Oh, I was at
he's a new.
I was at a secret safe bar, like a speakeasy bar. You know, you have to know a secret entrance to get into. And it was cool. It was all spy related. This whole bar, it was really cool in Milwaukee. And you go in the girls' bathroom and they got all kinds of stuff around, and they have a big life-size picture of Burt Reynolds nude.
Oh, the Playgirl one he did?
With just a button on his penis, right?
Yeah, that's what he was on Playgirl, I think. He did that.
And you know what happens? Every time a girl presses that thing, it lights up on the outside so everybody knows what's
That's ingenious. That's actually ingenious.
You told on yourself.
And then you have to walk out of the bathroom after
hey, so you're sitting there or whatever, your girlfriend goes in the bathroom. Not only does the light come on, but it's like on.
Like Morse code. Like Morse code.
SOS.
Red Rocket. All right. Anyway, you don't remember that episode of South Park where they're like, okay, never mind.
So back to the thing. Chat.
Yeah, let's go. Okay. So what are you guys in the chat? How would you rank? Do you give the thing 2 thumbs up or 2 thumbs down or thumbs down, 1 thumbs up or whatever? Or you give it 2 thumbs down? Or we all give it 2 thumbs up, I think, on this panel.
Yeah, I give it 2 thumbs
up for sure. Yes.
So that's our rating. We'll let you guys decide on yours. Hey, Wellbore.
One of these days we're gonna have to disagree. One of these days.
Well, actually, I'm gonna give it 2 thumbs up and a toe.
Okay.
It's really dirty. My God.
It had a big old dust bunny on it.
I walk around barefoot all the time. It's really bad.
There's nothing wrong with that. We talked about that before we started. But walking barefoot and wearing no socks. I think socks are feet prison.
I would walk around barefoot.
My boyfriend wears socks so much that when we went in the pool the other day, he had his shoes off and his feet looked like fluorescent white. They were like beams of light.
That's
I'm blind. Well, this has been a fun show today. Okay, Nerdy Geek gives it 2 thumbs up.
Awesome.
I knew he would. Me and Nerdy Geek have the same type of taste in movies, I feel.
Never giving a true sequel. Well,
Evil is bitter.
Good, you don't want to mess with it.
Bitter.
We got a prequel, but it wasn't. I didn't like it that much, but it was all right. But yeah, well, you know what? Never got a sequel. I think you get given a negative for that because they were never allowed to make a sequel because when it came out, it didn't make that much money at the box office. Because it had the bad fortune of coming out when E.T. came out.
Oh, whoops.
Yeah, I can actually. I'll find the budget for you.
Yeah,
I'll find the budget for you. It had a budget of $15 million, but it made $19.9 million in North America. So that's And then there's another thing about it.
Who would go up against E.T.?
Well, they didn't know.
It was made by Spielberg, bro.
The thing was released in the United States on June 25th, 1982. During its opening weekend, the film earned $3.1 million in 840 theaters, an average of $3,699 per theater, finishing as the number 8 film of the weekend behind supernatural horror film Poltergeist and the Megaforce.
Ooh.
Megaforce is a shit movie. How that happened? The critical reception of the film received negative reviews on its release and hostility for its cynical and anti-authoritarian tone and graphic special effects. Some reviewers were dismissive of the film, calling it the quintessential moron movie of the 80s, instant junk, and a wretched excess. Starlog's Alan Spencer called it a cold and sterile horror film attempting to cash in on the genre. Audiences against the optimism of the E.T. and the reassuring return of Star Trek II and the technical perfection of Tron and the sheer integrity of Blade Runner, the plot was criticized as boring and undermined by the special effects. The LA Times' Linda Gross said the thing was bereft, despairing, and nihilistic, and lacking in feeling, meaning the characters' deaths did not matter. Well, you know what? Linda Gross, you can kiss my ass.
Wow, that's a way to say it.
David Anson of Newsweek felt that the film, another idiot called David Anson of Newsweek, he felt the film confused the use of effects and writing suspense and that it lacked drama by sacrificing everything at the altar of gore. Well, hey, David Anson, you can kiss my ass too. You made my shit list. The Chicago Reader, David Kerr, another moron, considered the dialogue to be banal and interchangeable, making the characters seem like and sound alike. Another dipshit from the Washington Post named Gary Arnold said it was a witty touch to open with the Thing having already overcome the Norwegian base, defeating the type of traps in 1951. Then another idiot named David Denby lamented that the Thing's threat is shown only externally. And another jackass, may rest in peace, Roger Ebert, considered the film to be scary and offering nothing original beyond the special effects.
At least he said the special effects were cool.
But the thing is, this movie like had another life, and now it's considered a great classic. And like, I don't know what they meant by that, but yeah, it is nihilistic. But look, you got to think of the time. We had the so what? We're in the 80s. Things were kind of nihilistic. We had the Cold War going. The Afghanis Afghanistan had been invaded by the Soviets.
Oh, nerdy with the hot take.
There was a loom of like nuclear war. So it is kind of nihilistic. But the thing is, when you're in a situation like they were in, it is kind of nihilistic because what are you going to do? You have to make a decision. Do we let this thing get out to the rest of the world, or do we sacrifice ourselves to destroy it?
Well, like you said, it came out right at the same time as E.T. And E.T. was like the feel-good movie of the that year or something, whatever.
Of the year.
Yeah.
I don't know why they would say Blade Runner's good, because Blade Runner's kind of nihilistic too, in my opinion.
Yeah, and what's wrong with the nihilistic movie? It's just a theme. So,
and you know what? John Carpenter's good at that nihilistic type theme. Look, he done Escape from New York the year before.
And I think John Carpenter created suspense and and tension, whatever, not just special effects,
I think it's great. I mean, this movie is just like, and the special effects are a character in the movie, and there's nothing wrong with that. They had to have good special effects. It's better than just having a guy in a latex costume running around going, I mean,
that would make bad cinema.
Actually, The Thing from Outer Space probably will make bad cinema. It was the Howard Hawks movie, and I think you're right. Evil's Comics. I think that the Blade Runner, and The Thing have a lot in common. I also think that those two movies and Escape from New York have a lot in common. You have a dystopic future in two of them. You got this threat. It's just and you got man's hubris. Like these guys think they're going to take this creature back and study him, and nothing bad's going to happen.
Yeah.
And see, the Norwegian people thought that too. See, that they found them, and the Norwegian people couldn't contain the thing they discovered in the ice, and it got out. And they realized they had to make the same decision that the Americans had to make in that movie. Do we let this thing get out, or do we try to kill it now and risk our own lives? And I've never been in a situation like that, but my dad would say that in Vietnam.
We're talking about COVID now.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know what? You can watch this movie and like take some parallels from the pandemic from this movie, because like we were saying earlier, the pandemic, the thing broke their brains in this movie, and I know a lot of people. The pandemic, it broke their brains. We had people like, and I made a joke about this, and I'm probably gonna get somebody. I hope nobody that watches this or is in the comment or the chat gets mad at me, but I'm just gonna say it. I made a meme one time during COVID when everybody was like, I got to stay home, blah, 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 blah. I understand why they want to stay home. But we had people, I drew a comparison. You had people like, okay, I will storm the beach of Normandy, even though I might get killed in a blaze of glory fighting the Nazis here, right? And sacrifice myself. But they do that, the greatest generation, but we didn't even want to like stay at home for a couple of weeks. So, sorry. You can get mad at me if you want. But
so we're supposed to be mad at you for having people over during COVID?
I didn't understand what
is that what you're guilty of?
No, people bitched about having to sacrifice staying home for a couple of weeks.
Oh.
They're wearing a mask.
The mask people and the people that were staying home. The people that had to go to work though and were told you can't work, I do sympathize with them, absolutely.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, so I can't feed my kids no more. Okay.
Well, I think,
Well, at least I'm not getting nobody sick.
But also, there's another reference you
Hope
can
you
make
have a
about
family
the
dog.
in the pandemic.
Yeah.
There's also
Oh,
another
man.
line you can draw of the pandemic. People were scared. People were paranoid. They didn't know they didn't want to be around people. They didn't want to get near people. So yeah, I can see it as an analogy for like the pandemic. You know.
Yeah.
I don't know how if this is going to get shadow banned for using the vid word so many times, but you know, whatever. I shouldn't have said anything. You know what? I wasn't trying to be rude to anybody. I know people had jobs and stuff, but people were scared at the time. They didn't know what was going to happen.
It's
I
a case by
was
case
scared. I was
basis.
wiping down my groceries with Lysol at first. I mean,
Yeah.
it was so scary.
I thought about
You didn't
fucking
know what was going on,
fucking
you
drinking
know?
bleach, for God's sakes.
I know.
I'm just kidding. I'll tell you what, though, a lot of people like me that struggle with addiction, we had a hard time too because you couldn't go and talk to anybody. You know.
Yeah.
I still
Yeah,
have to
I don't
work
like
during
any
COVID.
news. I don't watch any news.
Oh, and you know what was really fun during COVID was when they had that ticker on the news of how many people had died. Like,
Yeah.
who's,
I like what
who's
Nerdy Geek said. He goes,
that? Like,
he said,
that's
have
just
people
giving you
complain
so
about
much
wearing the mask,
fear
and I
and
would say
fear.
it's better than wearing an MOP gear in Iraq when it's 120 degrees. Yeah.
Can't argue
It's
with
just
that.
unnecessarily like spreading a lot of fear.
I think we can say there was a little bit overkill though in certain instances on that, but I don't
They
want to
started conflating stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't
that's
want
a
to talk
rabbit
about.
hole.
Let's kind of. I shouldn't have brought it up because this is about
All
movies.
right, okay.
This is about movies, and we're
Let's
done.
talk
I
about
think.
movies.
I
Just
think
when things
we're
start
done.
getting fun.
I know. I think we're done. I don't want to get into like. I don't want to offend anybody. Okay. I probably already offended like 4 or 5 people.
I'd
so,
say 8 or 9. I'd say 8 or
they'll
9.
probably watch it later, but I just want to remind everybody that tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern. Yeah. Okay. 8. I can't.
Godfather himself.
8 p.m. Eastern. Comic Conversations. Brian LCS tonight. A special episode because I had to reschedule it, but and then I think Izzyverse will be next week, and then don't forget the Sunday Super Show Extravaganza at 6 p.m. Eastern. And but I just don't want to offend anybody. You know, I'm sorry. I try to be a nice guy. You know that. Monday at noon Eastern.
I don't mind offending people.
Review Cyborg starring the Muscles from Brussels. Jean-Claude.
They can always change the channel, man. Change the channel. I said they can always change the channel if they need to.
Yeah. Don't edit yourself.
No, I've not read the sequel yet. I need to. Hey, Dave, would you send me a link to that, please? Because I didn't know they had a series. So yeah, I would like to read that.
You have offended only my boredom. This was fun. That's awesome,
Thank you.
Magic Mike. Thank you.
I played the game. Yeah, there was a video game. I forgot about that. There was a video game on Xbox.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow.
And you go and investigate, and then you find out McCready's still alive. Yeah.
Wow.
It was like a continuation of the movie. So the sequel, it's kind of like a sequel to the movie, except it's a game. It's kind of a fun game. It's a hard game though. And there were some figures by Todd McFarlane as well. Yeah, it was a sequel to the movie. And thanks for showing up, Dave. I can't wait to meet you, man, and everybody else at Heroes Con. I get to meet Madam Stephanie and Christina. And I think Southern Comic Geek, who was here earlier, he'll be there, and Legion of Comics. It's going to be fun. I think it's going to be a good time.
All right, I'm going to take off.
Wait. All right, we're taking off too.
Okay.
Everybody bye, and then you can say bye to us after backstage and leave. All right. Everybody bye. And then 757 says, fuck that dog. Yeah, there you go.
Come, son of Jarrell! Kneel before Zod! Snitchy boochies.